A very good noon to one and all. So today we are continuing the previous lecture gear measurement topic. So in this now let us study the gear tooth vernier caliper instrument. With the help of this instrument we will find out the tooth thickness. So tooth thickness by using the gear tooth vernier caliper. సో ఇక్కడ మీరు గేర్ టూత్ వెర్నియర్ క్యాలిపర్ని చూస్తున్నారు. సో ఇందులో మీకు 2 స్కేల్స్ ఉంటాయి. హార్జంటల్ స్కేలు, వర్టికల్ స్కేలు. సో హార్జంటల్ అనేది మెయిన్ స్కేల్ అన్నమాట. సో ఈ వీడియోలో మీరు గేర్ టూత్ యొక్క థిక్నెస్ని ఎలా ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేస్తాం అనేది క్లియర్గా అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తామండి. సో ఇక్కడ మనము ఏ విధంగా ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేస్తాము అని అంటే, సో థియరిటికల్ వాల్యూ ఎంత, సో దాన్ని ఈ హార్జంటల్ స్కేల్ యూజ్ చేసి వెర్నియర్ క్యాలిపర్స్లో మనము దాన్ని ఆ రెండిటి యొక్క జార్స్ని మనకు కావాల్సిన ఆ టూత్ థిక్నెస్ ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో ఆ రెండిట్లో ఫిక్స్ చేసి, సో ఈ హార్జంటల్ స్కేల్లో మనము థిక్నెస్ని ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేస్తామండి. సో వెర్నియర్ స్కేల్ కనుక అయితే డెప్త్ని ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేస్తాం. సో ఈ విధంగా మనకి టూత్ థిక్నెస్ని మనం ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేస్తామండి. ఓకే, సో ఇన్ దిస్ ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్ there are 2 scales, horizontal scale and vertical scale. So for finding the tooth thickness, so horizontal scale is the main scale. So in this video, so by finding the gear tooth thickness, we have to find the theoretical value with the help of this horizontal scale from the vernier calipers. Okay, so by using this we can find out the tooth thickness. Okay, so I hope everyone understand this. And now move on to the next method, so constant chord method. So in this figure, W is the chordal thickness. Now let us move to the other method, that means constant chord method. So we can see here W means a chordal thickness which is measured at a pitch line at a depth of D. Now the expressions, the chordal thickness measurement and depth used for finding the tooth thickness. So here W equal to Nm sin 90 by n and D equal to Nm by 2 1 plus 2 by n minus cos 90 by n. So these expressions contains the value n, so that means number of teeth. If a large number of gears for a set each having different values of n are to be tested, then the separate calculations would become laborious. So in such cases the method of constant chord is useful method. This constant chord is a very useful dimension since it has the same nominal value for all gears of a common system irrespective of number of teeth, provided that the backlash allowance is same on all the gears. Okay, now in this diagram C is a constant chord. It is the distance between point A and B. We have a point A and B here. A constant chord is the chord between the points at which the gear tooth profile touches the flank of the basic rack of the system. So we can see here there is a basic rack of the system and gear profile. The point A and B, the distance is constant curve. AB is a constant curve. So from this geometry we can derive the expression for the constant curve. This is equal to the 2 times AC. So that is distance from AC to CB. Okay, sorry, AC, A to C and C to B. So constant curve is equal to the 2 times AC. That is distance from A to C and C to B is 2 times AC. So that equal to 2 AC. So this is a constant curve C. So C equal to pi by 2 m cos square x, where x is a pressure angle and m is a module. And now similarly we can derive for D. So D is addendum minus PC. So find the expression of D that equal to m of 1 minus of pi by 4 into cos x sin x. So m times the 1 minus pi by 4 of cos x sin x. So where x is the pressure angle. So these two are for the spur gears. Okay. And now for the helical gears, C is a constant curve that equal to pi by 2 mn cos square xn. So where mn is a normal module and xn is a normal pressure angle, and D that equal to mn, D that equal to mn times the 1 minus of pi by 4 cos xn sin xn. Okay. Now we have to fix the value of D in the vernier caliper for finding the value of D, and then we can measure the value of C, that means a constant curve, and measure value compared with the theoretical value to find the error. Okay. So I hope everyone understand this. Now we have a numerical problem. So we are required to determine the caudal thickness of a gear tooth of gear with 45 teeth and module 4 mm and pressure angle 20 degree. And also we have to determine the value of constant curve. Now given data n equal to 45 and the number of teeth 45 and module m equal to 4 mm and alpha. So alpha is pressure angle that is equal to 20 degree, and caudal thickness W, we know that caudal thickness W equal to nm sine of 90 by n. So n is 45 and m module 4 and sine of 90 by 45. So that is equal to 6.28 mm. So this is the caudal thickness W. And now we have to find out the constant chord C value. So for this we know that constant chord C equal to pi by 2 of m cos square alpha. So pi by 2 m is 4 and cos square alpha, that is cos square x, that is equal to 20 degree. So cos square 20. So By calculating this, we get 5.55 mm. Now for this diagram, the constant chord is measured which is slightly above the pitch line. That means AB is the constant chord, whereas the chordal thickness is measured at the pitch. So the constant chord value is lesser than the chordal thickness. Now we will move on to the another method, that is base tangent method. So this method uses an instrument called David Brown tangent comparator. David Brown tangent comparator, or we can use flange comparator. Flange comparator. Okay. So the measurement of tooth thickness by using gear tooth vernier has some disadvantages. So those disadvantages are the vernier is not reliable to closer than 0.02 mm. The measurements depends on two readings. That means D is depth and constant chord or chordal thickness, each of which is a function of other. And measurement is made with the edges of measuring jars, not their face, which does not lend itself to accurate the measurement. These problems can be overcome by measuring the span over a convenient number of teeth. So here we can select. So here we can select some teeth like 4 teeth or 5 teeth or 3 teeth, like that. We can select this span over the number of teeth and we can measure the width. So we can use David Brown base tangent comparator, which consists of limited movement micrometer. So there is a moving anvil, so in which David Brown base tangent comparator, which consists of a limited movement micrometer, and there is a moving anvil and a fixed anvil also is there. So the distance between the moving anvil and fixed anvils can be set by using the slip gauges. And we have a locking ring. We have a locking ring to lock the position of fixed anvil and setting tubes to give approximate dimension W. So there is a base circle. There is a base circle. So there is a tangent to the base circle. So we can always use gear flange micrometer also for measuring the width for number of teeth. So the measurement principle consists of measuring the distance between flanks of together lying teeth. So this provides accurate indications about the tooth thickness and requires a precise caliper or a micrometer, or no special instruments are there. So choose a number of teeth such that the measurement is made approximately at the pitch circle of the gear. At this point, the tooth form is most likely to conform to a true involute. Okay. And now, so consider a straight edge ABC of length AC being rolled back and forth along the base circle, and it ends A and C will sweep out opposed involutes A1, A2 and C2, C, C1. So measurements made across these opposed involutes by span gauging will be constant. So that means W equal to AC, that equal to A1, C1 that equal to A2 C2, that is arc A0 B0. So that means the arc length of the base circle between the origins of the involutes. Therefore the position of measuring faces of instrument is unimportant as long as they are parallel and on an opposed pair of true involutes. In the formulas and in the tables, the theoretical tooth thickness is always indicated. So the probable backlash should be deducted from that values. So the following formula which indicates the theoretical measurement across a certain number of teeth for the involute gear. So Wk equal to m cos alpha into bracket for k minus 0.5, that into pi plus z of tan alpha minus alpha. Wk is the distance between the flanges of instrument in mm or base tangent length. So where m is a module and alpha is a pressure angle. Okay, so k is a number of teeth between the flanges and z is a number of teeth of gear to be checked. So in order to avoid the calculation of the value of Wk for every case, the tables are there for all ordinary tooth numbers and modules, and for pressure angles 14 degrees, 30 minutes and 20 degrees. So these are the various tables. So where alpha is a pressure angle and z a number of teeth of gear and k number of teeth between the lips of gear caliper. So Wk is the theoretical dimension with the module 1. So this is the table. So z values 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 93, 94, 104. So these are the z values and k values also there. Number of teeth 2, 5, 8, 9, etc. And we can directly measure the by using these tables. Wk value is a dimension we can easily find out by using these tables. And now move on to the numerical problems. So in this problem we have to determine the base tangent length of a spur gear having 5 teeth on module 1 and pressure angle 14.5 degrees and number of tooth spaces contained between the lips of instrument is 2. So given data is k equal to 2 and module m equal to 1 and pressure angle alpha equal to 14.5 degrees and z value is 5. So Wk formula is Wk equal to m cos alpha k minus 0.5 pi plus z tan alpha minus alpha. So by substitute these values in this equation, we get Wk equal to 4.59 mm. Okay, so I hope everyone understand this problem. And now another problem that we have to determine the base tangent length of spur gear having 60 teeth, having the 60 teeth and module 1, the pressure angle 14.5 degrees and number of tooth spaces contained between the lips of instrument is 5. Now given data k equal to 5 and m is equal to 1 and alpha that equal to 14.5 degrees and z equal to 60. So Wk that is equal to m cos alpha is formula. By substitute these values in this formula, we get 14.01 mm. So similarly we can find out these Wk values by using these tables also. Okay, so z equal to, if z is equal to 5, k equal to 2, then automatically we can take this value from this table. Okay, so see this 4.589129, that means 4.59. okay, I hope everyone understand these two problems and these two problems also answers also referred in this table also. Okay, so I hope everyone understand the lecture about these calculations, WK calculations, where WK is the theoretical dimension with module M1. So it is the distance between the flanges of the instrument in mm, or base tangent length. Okay, so I hope everyone understand this lecture. uh, in the coming next lecture we will move on to the we will continue this topic in the next class. Okay, so please read well, stay home, stay safe. Thank you, bye.